All right, I think we're live. Rearranging some things. All right, who do we have in here? Heartbreaker? Heartbreaker, how are you doing? I don't think I've seen you before, Heartbreaker. Who else we got in here? Nico the Creepy Kid. Hi, Nico. Joe Caraluzzo. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? Guys, we're live and in color today. Christian HANNA Horror. Want to thank everybody for joining in. This is a live AMA. As always, you guys ask whatever it is you want to ask. And that's the bottom line because I said so. All right now. It is a lovely Thursday night, guys. Trying to see what all did I do today. Had a nice T-bone steak for lunch. Heartbreaker, I am kidding. I know who you are. Heartbreaker says, "Are you kidding, man? I was on your last stream, unless that's a joke. If it is, then you are pretty funny. I'm watching Happy Birthday to Me. I got the double feature with When a Stranger Calls. Let me know how that is. Love to know how that is. All right. But yeah, I'm trying to see what I did today. I had me a T-bone steak. I cook them myself. I'm pretty good at it, to be honest with you. I love me a good steak. Marvel fan 45, what's up? Nico the Creepy Kid, what is your job outside of YouTube? I work in a plant. I'm a plant man. I'm a press operator. I work 12-hour shifts. I have a really good schedule, to be honest with you. So here's a present for the early fans. Guys, whoever wants to claim it, just let somebody know in the chat. I'm going to give away for the early birds. This is a promo code for the Curse of La Llorona. I'm going to hold that there for a few seconds. Whoever wants to claim this, write it down and get it. And just say in the comment section, hey, I'm claiming this, or hey, I got this. If anybody's interested, I'll hold this up for a few more seconds. And if nobody says anything, I'll bring it up later on in the stream. Joe, how are you doing? Joe Caraluzzo. I'm good, man. Had a pretty chillax day today. I had to go pick up the ashes for one of my dogs that we cremated a couple weeks ago. So that wasn't, fun, but you got to do what you got to do. So I did that. I stopped by Best Buy on the way back to see if they had any of those new lenticular cover horror Blu-rays, but I didn't see any there, so I'm gonna have to check another one tomorrow. I got a gig with my band tomorrow, and I got some time I'll have to kill, so I'll check at the other Best Buy I have. I'm really interested in the Nightmare on Elm Street one, to be honest with you. That's probably about it. So, yeah, other than that. All right, let's see what we got live and in color, y'all. Let's see. Caitlin Dowden's in the house. Caitlin, what's up, man? Don't know that I've ever seen you in a stream before. The Blu-ray is so beautiful. Watching this movie again, I just want to turn off the sound and just look at it because of how beautiful it looks. The movie is great, by the way. I have Happy Birthday to Me, but I've never just put it on. That's such a case with a lot of movies that I have. I don't know why. I just put them on. I mean, I buy them and I never watch them. Excuse me. What's your opinion on the Wrong Turn franchise if you've seen it? I haven't seen all of them, Marvel fan. I've seen probably maybe up to 4. Big fan of part 2, part 1. Really good. Part 3 was okay. Part 4 was a little bit better, I think. And I've stopped there. I have a 5 Blu-ray set, so I have one more I could watch, but I haven't watched it yet. So yeah, I need to watch it. There we go. Making things a little bit bigger here. Heartbreaker. Blu-ray that I got on it is out of print, double feature. When a Stranger Calls, and it's the best Blu-ray that this film has ever gotten. It doesn't have any special features, but it looks good. Resident of Collinwood. I think that's Jewel. What's up, man? Is there a movie you would want remade? I don't know. I'm really into just seeing a lot of new original type horror movies right now. I don't know. I'd have to go back in time with this answer, but I think at one point John Carpenter was in talks with Universal about redoing Creature from the Black Lagoon. Could have been cool. That could have been cool, so maybe that. The Late Late Horror Show. What's going on, guys? I'm not sure who's manning the station tonight over there. But what's going on? So, I'm ready for Spirit Halloween's to get open, guys. That should be relatively soon. I'm not sure when the next one's going to be, when it's going to be open by me, but I can't wait. Time can't go fast enough. Heartbreaker, I would like to see The Devil's Rejects be remade and have better continuity with House of a Thousand Corpses. Man, that's tough. I mean, those movies are so good. I wouldn't want to touch those movies myself. Dino. Yeah, I wouldn't want to touch those movies myself, man. Dang. That's a tough one. So, yeah. We got a lot of people streaming tonight, so it may be a slower night, but that's perfectly fine. For you guys watching this, just know that, I'm doing weekly Thursday live streams. I'm just adjusting stuff while you guys are looking at this. All right, I'll make this a little bit bigger. Thursdays is the night I'm going to try to do live streams. Fridays, I'm just always busy. If you guys haven't, I don't know if you guys can tell, when I do my videos, 9 times out of 10, they've already been filmed, and I just have them set to upload at a certain time because I try to space everything out and plan them out as best as I can. So, all right, what's everybody watching tonight? People are saying don't touch them, don't touch them. Excuse me. Slasher 101. What's going on, man? I was wondering where you've been. I'm watching Slumber Party Massacre 3. Love that movie. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I really like the cover art for that one the most. Out of all of them, that one has my favorite cover art for sure. Oh, did you say 2? I'm sorry. I think you said 2. All right, let's see. Sorry, guys, getting everything situated. Okay. Let's see. Nico the Creepy Kid, just your stream. I'm home alone for like 3 hours, and I'm just going to be watching until I am too tired. We do about an hour a night, so I'll probably try to go about an hour tonight like usual and all that fun stuff. Let's see. Marvel fan says he's watching Phantasm. Oh my God, Phantasm is just an all-time classic. You know, I really don't know much better movies than Phantasm. Phantasm is just so good. I mean, there's no words. There are no words. We got Silver Shamrock in the house. You get the award for probably the best channel name I've seen. Obviously, you guys know. Let me see if I can turn this up a little bit. All right, I'll turn that up a little bit. That way I'm not covering my mouth. All right. Silver Shamrock says, I'm here. I love your Halloween 3 collection video for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It's my favorite movie of all time. Well, your channel name does give a little bit of that away, but I want to say that, yeah, I am a massive Halloween 3 fan myself, without a shadow of a doubt. Trying to do face recognition. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's one of my favorites. Heartbreaker, there are 3 actors who are tied for my favorite actor. There are Joe Spinell, Bill Moseley, and Sid Haig. Whenever I see Sid Haig in a movie, I say, look, it's Captain, because of Captain Spaulding. Out of everybody in the House of a Thousand Corpses movie, I would have to say that my favorite... I have to say that my favorite character in that movie would have to be Spaulding. But I really like the grandpa character in House of a Thousand. But Spaulding's the best. You know, the best part about that entire movie is, without a shadow of a doubt, you know, that opening scene at the... Sorry, I'm getting everything situated, guys. That opening scene at the gas station. The opening scene at the gas station is the best part of House of a Thousand Corpses, without a shadow of a doubt. I love that scene. Okay, Nico says, I remember when I first saw Phantasm, I thought to myself, this is like someone who brought their nightmare to film only to find out it was based on a nightmare the writer had. Well, according to Don Cascarelli, that's probably not too far off, because, I mean, where else could that movie have really come from? It's so out there and bizarre, you know. It's really hard to try to figure out what exactly was going on with Phantasm. It's just a bizarre film, and there's a lot of stuff that didn't make it to screen. A lot of stuff that did not make it to screen, and you find this out because in Phantasm 4, you know, there's sequences that, like, how did they replicate the look of the first film and get the, you know, and I'm like, oh, it's a bunch of stuff that wasn't used. So, Slasher 101 says he loves Dr. Satan. Oh, he's great. He's great. That's no doubt. Silver Shamrock says Phantasm 1, 2, and 4 are my favorites. You know, it's funny. I really like 3. 3 has this, like, it looks like it's got, like, a cinematic quality to it, and it looks like it was well made and everything, but it went straight to video, which is interesting. You know, because a lot of times you could easily tell when a movie feels like it went straight to video, but 3 didn't feel like that. It felt like it could have been a cinema film, but for the research I did, it you know, went straight to video. But 4 is good. 4 had a great sequence with the cop and Reggie in the beginning of the movie. Really like that. It reminded me of something from a Sam Raimi Evil Dead type deal with, it reminded me like a Maniac Cop type scene, and it was really nasty when Reggie pokes his head out the cop car and the zombies on top of him, and it basically throws up on him. That was some really, really good stuff. I like that a lot. Phantasm 4, Heartbreaker says, oh, hold on. Let's see. Marvel Fan 45 says, I've been trying to get into Rob Zombie. Love his music, but I can't figure out which movie to start with. Which would you recommend? House of a Thousand Corpses. I mean, honestly, the best recommendation I can tell you to do, Marvel Fan, is to look up his filmography, which goes as follows. House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, Halloween 2. Then I believe he did The Lords of Salem, and then 31, and then 3 from Hell is what she's doing now. Watch his movies in the order he made them. That's my recommendation for Rob Zombie. Heartbreaker, yeah, man. I rewatched House of a Thousand Corpses a few nights ago, and it's still just as good as I watched it for the first time. It's my second favorite horror movie of all time. It's a great movie to love. I'll tell you that right now. Phantasm 4 is my favorite sequel of the Phantasm series. That's why I have it in my intro. It's not my favorite. My favorite is the original. That's fine. I completely understand that. Nico asks, when you were in school, did your friends like horror as much as you? No, I can't really answer that because I didn't really become a horror fanatic till my senior year of high school, and even then I was pretty closet about it. I didn't say a whole lot. I was pretty subdued, and then it really got crazy, in the following months after I graduated high school. Have you been following Bam Margera's Instagram lately? Yeah, I have. This whole Dr. Phil thing, I'm not sure if it's him just trying to get on TV. I really hope it's not. He's clearly got problems, and I know he probably feels so bad about himself because look at Novak, look at Steve-O. They've been able to successfully recover and move on from just to their own sobriety. And the irony is, back in the day, Bam was one that just was the business mind, level-headed guy who could keep everything under control, and now Bam's, his demons are just getting the best of him. But his mom did an interview with TMZ, and I watched that video, and April was saying, he'd be in these binges, and then he'd be like lock himself in a room for hours on end where he would just hate himself and just watch TV for hours and kept going across and seeing the Dr. Phil show, and he would start watching it and be like, yeah, I like this guy, I agree with him. And so the mom thinks that he really wants to, get with Dr. Phil and do the show to get himself help. And if that's the case, I hope he does get himself, help. And I hope Dr. Phil does help him, but they're all sad. They want to see Bam get his stuff together, and I do too. He needs to. I mean, if Novak can get cleared up and get his stuff straightened out, then I think Bam needs to. I mean, he's trying to sell all this merchandise, but nobody wants to buy it because they feel like they don't want to support him while he's messed up, and I understand that. I don't know. He needs to get his stuff together, and hopefully this Dr. Phil stuff will do good. He was making all these weird inscriptions, and it was just ridiculous. He's clearly binging on alcohol and God knows what. Dan Chalice, how are you doing? Hey, man, just got done watching Critters 2 with my girlfriend. Laugh out loud, loved it. Well, that's cool. That's a cool chick if she's down to watch Critters 2, man. I want to say Critters 2 is my favorite, but I tell you what, I really like 1. I wish I could get a bowling jacket, or a bowling shirt based off of what theirs was. Wasn't it Pin Busters or something? I would love to get some sort of jacket or a bowling shirt like that. I think that would be, really, really cool to have. So. Okay, who else we got? Silver Shamrock, Jason Voorhees, the Tall Man, and Chucky are my 3 favorite horror icons. I don't know if I have 3 favorite horror icons. My number 1 favorite, of all time is without a doubt, Freddy Krueger. He's my favorite horror movie villain. My favorite franchise is the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I don't know. I guess Jason would be the next one. I love the Friday the 13th, and I love what else do I love? If I had to pick another one, probably Candyman. Love Candyman. Heartbreaker. My top 3 favorite horror icons are number 1 is Leatherface. Number 2 is Captain Spaulding. Number 3 is Norman Bates or the Tall Man. They change a lot, but I love them both so much. All good stuff. Let's see. Nico the Creepy Kid. Thoughts on Pet Sematary 2? I hate the idea of it. but I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't love it. I think it was a sequel done because the first one did well, and Paramount was like, okay, that one made a couple bucks. Let's do another one. And I think it isn't a extremely high profile movie by any means, but I can pop on Pet Sematary 2 no problem and get an hour and a half's worth of enjoyment out of it. It was nice seeing Furlong in the movie. It's always a pleasure to see him. It was nice seeing who else was in that movie that I recognize? I think a kid from Big. I think the best friend in Big was in that movie. It's a fun movie. There's nothing too bad about Pet Sematary 2. So I enjoy it. Let's see. Marvel Fan 45. What's your opinion on Italian horror movies like Suspiria, Bay of Blood? I love them. Don't know if I've seen Bay of Blood. Don't know if I have. I believe isn't Zombie an Italian movie, and I think Contamination might be one. As far as Suspiria goes, yeah, I tell you what, when it comes to Suspiria, I really, really loved the remake. Like, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was just some of the most bizarre stuff I've ever seen on screen. Just God, fabulous stuff. So, yeah, I'm really into some of these, old school, early 80s Italian horror stuff. Good stuff. Okay, let's see. How's the new pup, and has he been on the live chat before? Yeah, I brought him out last time for a few seconds, not long. He usually is hanging out with Sydney, so. Resident of Collinwood, have you checked any more of Charles Bronson's movies? No, I have not. I need to get my hands on the Death Wish. I need to get that, but I haven't. But, soon. I'll get some soon. Zack Attack, how are you doing? What is your favorite Saw movie? Ooh, I'm a huge Saw fan. Love the entire franchise. Love every movie. I tell you what, I really like 5. I really like 5. I like the battle between, the good cop, bad cop, literally. I love the ending of 5 when, he could have lived. He could have, if he would have got inside of that glass casket, so to speak, and just got in there and shut the door, he could have gone down and survived, and probably thought to himself, oh my God, this would have killed me if I hadn't got it. I don't know, but 5 was really good. I tell you what, I really like 3. 3's got some good stuff. The brain surgery in 3 is great cinema, I think. I think it's really, really good. 3 had a hard story with the dad who's, wants to avenge the death of his son because the legal system failed him. There's a lot of good stuff in the Saw franchise. I like Jigsaw. I thought Jigsaw was a, pretty good return to form. Dan Chalice, hey man, you ever watch Darkman? Yeah, I like Darkman a lot. Darkman's good. Haven't seen the sequels. Haven't seen 2. Haven't seen 3. But I have the Scream Factory. Excuse me. I had the Scream Factory for part 1, so I got that going on. Nico asks, what is the most disturbing movie you've seen? Don't go watch this because I'm assuming you're a younger individual based on your channel name, but probably Serbian film. And the Poughkeepsie tapes, which I talked about in one of my previous videos on my channel, my top 5 found footage horror movies. Poughkeepsie tapes was such a brutal film. I mean, good Lord. Poughkeepsie tapes just... you don't watch... If you're home alone, don't... It would be like a challenge. It should be the Poughkeepsie tape challenge to be in a house that's pitch black with just the TV on and you watch the Poughkeepsie tapes. I mean, just brutal stuff, man. I tell you. I haven't seen a whole lot of movies like that in my life. Let's see. Mystic Matt says Irreversible. Heartbreaker. I think my favorite line from Captain Spaulding is, I'm just a clown dancing to the sins of mankind. I don't want to watch Street from Hell. I can't wait to watch 3 from Hell. Hashtag free the 3. Sorry. I got to change this font for next time. It's a little hard to read all this stuff. Silver Shamrock asks, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 Initiation is one of the most bizarre horror movies I've ever seen. I've never made it that high. I've never made it that high for the Silent Night, Deadly Nights. So I can't comment on that. Mystic Mac. Oh, you're talking to Creepy Kid. Silver Shamrock says, Saw and Saw 6 are my favorites. Ooh, yeah, Saw 6 was good with the umbrella health insurance and the scam stuff they were pulling. Good stuff. Mimi, how are you doing? Non-horror question. What is your favorite fantasy film? Oh, that's a good question. Fantasy, it's going to be a subjective term because basically to me fantasy film means something that's not based out of reality of daily living. Based on that, I would have to say that's a tough question. I like films like Demolition Man. Trying to give you some other examples. Back to the Future. I love that. Time Cop, Van Damme movie. I love that. Trying to think of what else. Fantasy. Not a big Star Wars guy. I'll watch the movies, but I'm a rare breed. I'm just a casual Star Wars movie fan. I'll check out the movie just because it's a big blockbuster type of thing, but I never really go crazy over them. I like a lot of stuff based out of reality. I like, especially for horror, I like realistic horror because it really lets me sink my teeth into whatever film I'm watching. So, it's not called Gypsy Tapes. It's called Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie's a town in New York, so it's the Poughkeepsie Tapes. Look that up, but don't look it up. Cannibal Holocaust. I don't know, man. I like Cannibal Holocaust. Don't get me wrong, but I think Poughkeepsie Tapes is mentally 10 times harder to watch, or probably 100 times harder to watch than Cannibal Holocaust. Mystic Mac, watch Irreversible, Christian. You ain't seen Disturbing till you've seen that film. Excuse me. Mystic Mac, if you know if it's streaming anywhere on any streaming service, drop a comment below so you can let me know, or tell me if you just have it on video, or if it's streaming anywhere. That would be very helpful to me because I plan on watching a movie tonight after I get done with the stream. Heartbreaker. Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 is worth watching because Reggie Bannister is in it. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, just got done watching Happy Birthday to Me and going to watch When a Stranger Calls. Can't freaking wait. Yeah, that's a good one. I really like When a Stranger Calls. Nico the Creepy Kid. Also, I'm 16, which I suppose most people my age wouldn't say to go out and watch these disturbing films, but I can handle it. Hey, if you can handle it, that's all that matters. You know your limits. Can I catch a ride to the show with you guys tomorrow night? Message me after the stream because I got a sound check and everything tomorrow, and I got to leave much earlier than the show is. I have no problem with you riding with me, Kaylin, but Facebook message me when the stream ends. The stream's going to end at 10, or hit me up in the morning just so you can know you need to know my schedule tomorrow. Heartbreaker. I watched the Baginski tapes. Is that what you said? I watched it on stream. It's called the Poughkeepsie tapes. I believe it's spelled Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie. It's a town in New York. That's the name of it. Check that out, the Poughkeepsie tapes. Have you checked out any of the new Critter stuff they've been putting out? Dan Chalice, I watched the show. It was okay. I quickly saw the elements that it was going to have, complete ridiculousness. And after I accepted that, I enjoyed it okay. Now Critters Attacked, I thought was okay. The only thing I didn't like about Critters Attacks, man, was putting in the female critter, the good critter. Just kind of was like, didn't care for that. Didn't really like seeing a female critter, but it is what it is. But overall, I thought Critters Attack was a decent little entry. I thought it was a decent little entry. I would have liked to have seen more of a vocal role, so to speak, from what's the star's name that was in the original, from her. I would have liked to have seen her more involved in the majority of the movie, but you can't really complain. Movie John, what's going on? What's going on, Movie John? Live AMA, man. You got a question? Ask it away. It don't have to be horror related. It could be whatever you want, but we're just chit chatting, talking about movies, and having a good old time. So, all right. What about your favorite Scream movie? Asks Zach Attack. Favorite Scream movie? That's a good question. Probably 2. I really like 2. I think it's just got the right look for me, the right style for me. Obviously 1 is a bona fide classic, but 2 has. I just like it. I like the look of 2. I like the story of 2. So good stuff. But yeah. Heartbreaker. I'll definitely watch that film on stream. I like watching gory movies, not necessarily a disturbing but gory. See, I'm the opposite, Heartbreaker. I'm really into movies that will mentally take you down a path that's just like, oh my God, where are we going? And that's what the Poughkeepsie tapes did for me. Gore is cool. I love seeing the special effects works that some of these guys are able to do, but I like movies that are psychologically just daunting on my mind. I just like going there. It's nice to be able to watch a movie that can take you to that place, because you don't get to see that kind of stuff. You don't get to see a lot of movies be able to have that effect on you. So I really like psychological horror. Really like psychological horror. Let me adjust this camera setting real quick. Whoa. There we go. I'm happy with that. Okay, let's see. Stormtrooper of Metal, 2 Thins. You got to review Black Death. I need to see that. Okay, Slasher 101. Did you see they're having a Night of the Demons reunion at Day of the Dead, Dallas in October? I'm going to try to go. Ooh, Day of the Dead in Dallas? I've never seen that happen there. I mean, I got Texas Frightmare to go to, but Day of the Dead? Is this October this year or October 2020? All right, let's see. Nico the Creepy Kid. Have you got your Tots masks you wanted to order yet? My Halloween 1978 mask is supposed to come in this I'm going to check Party City and, Spirits and see which where if they have them. I need to get I definitely, out of all of them, I want 5. I have a good Part 4. Don't need to buy a Part 4. I have a really good Halloween 4 mask. I want the Part 5. I'm such a sucker. Such a sucker for the Halloween 5 mask. I can't help myself. It's just one of my favorites. So, and I'll get the 78 mask, whether I got to order it or not. Okay, let's see. Mystic Matt. It's a French film that starts at the end and plays at the beginning. Don't know about streaming, but check out the reviews. Most people can't handle it, no joke. And that's Irreversible, Mystic Matt, just to follow up. That's the movie we're talking about. Nico, well, you've hyped it up so much, I'll check out Poughkeepsie tapes when I get the chance. That's not how you spell it still, but just look it up. I'll go to, Nico, I think you commented on my video. Go to my top 5 found footage horror movies that I just did. It's my number 1. And you can see the movie poster, and you can see how it's spelled and everything. Mystic Matt, I think Amazon Prime has it. Yeah, remind me if that was Irreversible, what you're talking about. Zack Attack asks, what horror movies do you dislike? You know, I don't like that word. I don't mean to sound preachy, but whenever I can bring this up, I do. I don't, there are movies I just don't enjoy, I guess. I'm trying to think. What's a movie I just don't enjoy? What's a movie that I just think was lousy? It's I don't have a specific genre, if that's what you're asking, or if that's kind of what you're asking. I guess I get bored with some horror comedies. I mean, they have to just hit the right nerve with me. Some horror comedies just bore me to death. But I'm trying to think of titles off the top of my head. I don't know. I really can't think of nothing specific. But horror comedies, I'm extremely picky. That's the best answer I can give. A horror comedy has to have the right temperament and the right pacing and the right humor for me to enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, I like horror for being scared. That's my favorite. I love being brought into a world that's, I'm so thankful I'm not in, but I'm able to safely watch it. So that's probably, I'm very picky. Slasher101 says, yeah, it's going to be this year. I guess it's the first. I haven't heard about it. I haven't gotten tickets, but I got to go to Michigan in December, so I don't know if I'll even be here when it happens. Okay. Mimi says, Part 6 is my favorite mask. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. The Curse of Michael Myers mask is fantastic. I've got 2 copies. I've got a Creation X mask, and I've also got the Tots mask. Part 5 is Silver Shamrock's favorite Halloween movie. Part 5 is what it is. I enjoy it for its silliness. To me, it's just a good blockbuster rental horror movie, It's okay, Nico. Poughkeepsie is a big word, so I don't blame you. Heartbreaker, I'm the complete opposite, man. I love hating on movies. Whenever I have something going on that gets me angry, I always try to review movies I hate so I can get all the anger out. It's fun. No, and look, I'm not saying it in a way that I think I'm better or anything, because I don't do that. I don't like basically, if people sometimes ask me to review a movie, and I'll say I'm probably not going to review it because I really don't enjoy it. I don't want to spout off on a review and just degrade a movie that that I think is bad, and then somebody may watch it and say, well, I really enjoyed it. Or maybe not even that. Maybe I spout my mouth off about something about this movie that I just personally just didn't enjoy, and I just say, this is bad. And then somebody may not watch the movie for the longest time because of what I said, and then they may watch it later on and be like, why didn't I watch this earlier? Christian said it was bad, but I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't want to have that happen to anybody. And there's enough people that review movies that they don't like on YouTube, so I don't think it's a huge deal that that I don't do it. Okay, so let's see. But I completely understand. Some people love dogging on movies, and I'd be lying if I said I haven't seen a couple, reviews of movies that people didn't like that made me laugh. So, okay, Mystic Matt, Irreversible, 2003. Don't blame me later. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna let you know if it's streaming on Amazon Prime. I have Amazon Prime. Good, Irreversible. Dan Chalice, don't think I've ever heard your opinions on Waxwork 1 and 2. Waxwork 1, I really like. Waxwork 2, just, it's not bad, but, just ones I really enjoy. I love the little dwarf, butler in one. Nico, what's your thoughts on the Socia sisters? And are you looking forward to their remake of Rabid? Don't know much about that, to be honest with you. But I have heard a little bit about the remake of Rabid. I'll check it out. If it's good, it's good. If not, if it's not, it's not. What are your 3 favorite Tales from the Crypt episodes? Mine are All Through the House, There's a Crowd, and Fitting Punishment. I can't tell you the names of the episodes. But I can just tell you a little bit about them, and maybe you guys can supply the names. I believe it's the debut episode, the Santa Claus one in season 1. Great stuff. There's also this episode with Demi Moore in it that I really liked a lot. And then there's an episode where Iggy Pop is playing live, and it's this episode about this venue promoter. And it was about this band, I think. And I remember there was a Alice Cooper Trash poster on the wall. That was some good stuff. Really good stuff. Silver Shamrock says that Heartbreaker's playing games, that Halloween 5 is far from being his favorite. Let's see. Slasher 101 says, what are your thoughts on Titanic? I don't know, but I find the ending terrifying. Maybe that's just me. No, you're absolutely, I'm absolutely in agreement with you. I came across this video one time of this Titanic sinking simulation, and the video plays out in real time. It's like a 2.5-hour video that starts the minute after the boat made contact with the glacier. Or iceberg, excuse me. Excuse me. And it's just a haunting video to watch. God, I can't even imagine. Oh, man. Heartbreaker. I need you to review the first 5 Tales from the Crypt episodes. I watched them a few days ago, and I need to review them. I will do those tonight after you're done streaming. Laugh out loud. Shamrock, love you, bud. That's a good idea. I need to pop in. I really wish Tales from the Crypt would get some Blu-ray releases. I swear to God, I'd buy them. That show just needs a 1080p update. It really does, because that's some good stuff. I mean, Season 1 is so good from Tales from the Crypt. I mean, Season 1 is so good. I love it so much. Really would like to go through Season 1 again. So. Okay, let's see. Silver Shamrock, Waxwork is fun. Waxwork is fun. Waxwork 2 is meh. Okay. Dan says, are you planning on getting the NECA Halloween 2 Michael? Sure. I mean, I don't order them. I don't ever really care to pre-order the NECA Ultimates. I'm much more of a fan of the Mego retro styles that come in the flat packages where they got their clothing is real cloth. I'm much more into those figures, which seems like they don't put those out as often. I know they're doing a Candyman. I know they're doing a new Nightmare, so I'll get those for sure. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get the Halloween 2 based on the packaging alone, because they did it right. Classic artwork. Nico the Creepy Kid. There are twin sisters who made the movies like Dead Hooker, In a Trunk, American Mary. Oh, American Mary, I've seen that. See No Evil 2 at the time. Yeah, American Mary was good. I like that. Zack Attack asks, are you into any of the Godzilla movies? Absolutely. Love the Godzilla movies. I've watched a bunch of them throughout my life. I think my favorite is probably Godzilla SOS, which was a latter one that Toho did. Really liked that one. The last one I watched ever was Shin Godzilla, which I thought was pretty good. So, Silver Shamrock, the Santa Claus one is all through the night, all through the house. Yeah, I should have realized that based on the name. But yeah, good stuff. Really good stuff. Progressive Guy. Have you watched any of Alfred Hitchcock's films? And if so, which one is your favorite? To be honest with you, not as much as I probably should. But I'll tell you what, I did like The Birds. The Birds was cool. I know, obviously, I've seen Psycho, and I think I've seen Vertigo. But I don't really see a whole lot more than that, to be honest with you. I gotta get me some education, to be honest with you. Silver Shamrock, the Demi Moore one is dead. Dead light or right? I'm sorry, it's my font that makes it hard to read. Yeah, I love that episode. I remember that. Big Demi Moore fan. I just thought she was gorgeous. So, Heartbreaker says, Tales from the Crypt Season 1 all the way through Season 7 is free on YouTube. Well, I mean, I got the set already on DVD. I want them to come out on Blu-ray. I swear. They need a big, nice Blu-ray set. Silver Shamrock says, for crying out loud, is the other Tales from the Crypt that you were talking about? Well, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out as well. I'm trying to think of another episode that I really like from Tales from the Crypt. There was one with Beverly. I think her name is Beverly D'Angelo. She was like a vampire woman. I think that's her name. She was Helen from Vacation movies. She was like a vampire woman. That was a good one too. But I don't remember the names. I really don't. Marvel Fan 45, Tales from the Crypt is amazing. Your favorite episodes? Well, that's what we've been talking about. I'm trying to think of any other ones that... Oh, the one with Morton Downey Jr. is one of my favorites. Love that one. Season 2... Season 2 is my favorite season of Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, I'm sure some of these I'm saying might be from Season 2. Basically, that was, 90, 91 when Season 2 was happening. So that was a good era, a good time for that show. I remember Season 2 had some really good openings with the Crypt Keeper in there, too. So, Dan Chalice, I've got a nostalgic love for Are You Afraid of the Dark? Ever get into that show? If so, favorite was this. Can vividly remember as a kid watching the intro where the kid throws like the dust over the fire, but I don't remember a single episode. I mean, I really don't. I think I remember one that was like something to do with like a kid in a library, but I could be completely wrong because I know Goosebumps had stuff like that where, you know, there was a kid in the library where he saw like the librarian was like an alien or something, and then at the end of the episode he finds out his parents were aliens too, you know, something like that. But I want to say that there was something like that in Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I remember that being on Nickelodeon, of all channels. Are You Afraid of the Dark? You know, cool stuff. But that's, like I said, that's a vague memory. Nico the Creepy Kid, he asks, I know you love the first 3 Return of the Living Dead movies, but how do you feel about the other 2? To be quite honest with you, I haven't seen Rave to the Grave. Just never brought myself around to watching it. I did see Necropolis, and I don't remember it being the worst thing I've ever seen. Just strange how they decided to do sequels to, you know, from 3 with so much time that passed, you know, because Necropolis, wasn't it like 2004 or 3 or something? Maybe it was even later than that. It might have been like 06. I don't remember, but that was just weird to me. You know, why do sequels that, you know, that far back or that far apart? Silver Shamrock's Werewolf Concherte is the one where Beverly D'Angelo is the vampire and Timothy Dalton. Werewolves. What did I say? Vampire. Oh, she is a vampire. Okay, yeah. Yeah, man, I love that one. And I remember, like, I was such a Beverly D'Angelo fan, and I remember she doesn't show up to like the end of the episode. I was like, where is she? But yeah, it was cool how they got all these celebrities to just, eventually be a part of the show in one way or another. So that was good stuff. Zack Attack. That was a Goosebumps episode. I remember. Yeah, Zach. I remember it was an episode where it was pretty good, if I remember correctly. This kid, he's at the library and he's there late or something, and he sees the librarian like just basically have an alien head. I tell you, when you're a little kid, that stuff was scary, man. It really was. And then he goes home and like he tells his parents about it or something, and somehow they invite the librarian. They invite the librarian over for dinner, and then the parents turn into aliens and they eat the librarian, and then he finds out that his parents were, just crazy stuff. I love it. I love it. It was a good show. Television Terror is one where Morton Downey Jr. television movie. How do you feel the Ginger Snaps? How do you feel about the Ginger Snaps movie? I like the Ginger. I've only seen the first one. I didn't know there was a sequel. I like the first one a lot. Heartbreaker says season 3 is my favorite episode with it, which is one directed by Toby Hooper. It's called Like Death Something. I love that one. I also love the Undying episodes where he has the character who has 9 lives. That sounds familiar. That sounds so familiar. I went through and watched the show all the way through probably like 2 years ago with my wife. We just, every night, we were hammered them out. I mean, we went season after season just plugged away. And it's probably about time to do it again. I tell you, because I had such a good time probably the first 3 seasons. I'm not going to say that there is a decline. That's not really. But they probably had a little bit more money, maybe is what I'm saying. Those first 3 seasons were just fantastic. Man, season 1 to me is just killer. I love season 1 so much. So, somebody knows their episode names. Let's see. Dan Chalice has a really good question. What's the number 1 movie that you're still waiting to get a proper Scream Factory Arrow Vestron treatment? Mine was The Blob, but now I think it's Fright Night 1 and 2. Yeah, I've got The Blob on pre-order. I'll tell you right now, and it's never been released on Blu-ray, and I don't know why. I don't know if it has a bad backstory like Fright Night 2 does. The movie is called Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. I need that to get a nice, proper Blu-ray release. It's such a good movie. I love Lot 209 or something, the beginning one with the mummy. That's such a good movie. Tales from the Dark Side was fantastic, and it does not have a Blu-ray release. And I don't know why. Somebody needs to get their hands on it. So that's where I stand with that. That's got to get a release. It has to get a release. So. And I would like to see Vestron do it. I love Vestron's Blu-rays. They got that nice retro look to them. They just do classic artwork, and then they have their nice little Vestron logos. But I don't think, for it to be a Vestron release, it has to be a Vestron horror movie, which is, hard to find. Zack Attack says, my favorite Goosebump episode was The Haunted Mask. It scared the crap out of me as a kid. Oh, man. I remember everybody had that big, bulky VHS, that big, bulky VHS cover. Good stuff with the girl holding it. I wish the mask looked like it did on the cover of the VHS, though, and not the way it looked in the movie. The way it looked on the cover of the VHS was great. So, if I had to pick a favorite Goosebumps episode, not that anybody asked, but now I feel inclined to say, I think it was the one that came out soon after on home video. It was like this boy and his sister. They went on like this tour in this some kind of like medieval museum, and then I think they mess around with this like dummy, but it actually turns out to be like a real guy or something, and then they have to fight for their life or something, and then they end up eventually escaping through like the sewer and the street. I forget the name of that one, but I remember liking that one a lot. Let's see. Deadweight is the Toby Hooper one. Nico says the sequels are good, but they don't touch the original, in my opinion. The third one is kind of out of place, but I enjoyed that one too. Heartbreaker. By the way, 4K for 3 from Hell is coming out in October. One month after the movie comes out in theaters, October 17th, I think. That's good. That's good. Bradley Pierce, how are you doing, man? What's going on? What's up, man? Ask away. Anything you want to ask. Silver Shamrock, Lover's Vow is my favorite segment in Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. Oh, man, that's a good one, but I tell you what, that first one with the mummy, man, I love it. There's a shot in that movie where they just show you the mummy and then the girl across the couch, and it was just like, oh, my God. Oh, man, good stuff. Dan says, Tales from the Dark Side, a.k.a. my Creepshow 3, good call. Yeah, Dan, and Dan, you know, I don't understand why it's never even had a Blu-ray release. That makes no sense to me. You know, let me blow out this candle. You know, I don't know why it never got its proper release, because I don't know that there's any reason that it shouldn't. You know, I think it was a Paramount movie, so, you know, the Scream Factory should be able to get their hands on it, you would think. I don't know. Marvel Fan 45, he asks, what are your favorite horror comedies? Marvel Fan 45, my favorite comedies, well, my number one favorite horror movie on the planet is The Return of the Living Dead. Some other good horror comedies, I'll tell you what, I watched a movie the other day called Satan's Little Helper. Thought that was funny. I'm trying to think of what else I might have watched, horror comedies that I really like. It's hard to say. I draw blanks whenever I get asked these questions. Horror comedies. I mean, They Live is funny. You know, it's kind of a funny horror comedy. I like Freddy's Dead. That's a horror comedy. And I think that's why people hate it, which I understand. Horror comedies. Oh, probably one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, horror comedy-wise, is a movie called Evil Ed. Just a horror comedy that's just a masterpiece. Slasher 101 asks, what were your Halloween costumes when you were growing up? Sub-Zero, Jason. I did Jason a lot because my mom would get the cheap hockey masks. And I didn't see the movies yet, so I didn't care. I didn't care that I wasn't doing it properly. So, you know, I was Jason a lot, you know. Jason a lot for Halloween. I didn't ever dress up or anything like Michael Myers because, quite honestly, he scared the crap out of me. But Sub-Zero, I loved Mortal Kombat growing up. Dan Chalice, you ever checked out Demon Wind? Just saw that. No, I haven't checked that one out. Got to check that one out. As always, guys, if you guys have a movie you want me to see, tell me where you saw it. That way I can find it if I can stream it. The Cry of the Cats Goosebumps episode, that one scared me the most. I was younger. I'm sure I've seen it, Nico. I'm sure I saw all of them. Silver Shamrock, Tales from the Dark Side of the movie is the true Creepshow 3. The real Creepshow 3 is worse than Halloween 5. I haven't seen Creepshow 3. Tommy, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Glad to see you in the live stream. Bradley Pierce, what's your favorite horror poster package artwork? Mine is The Fog, actually. So 80s. I'm actually, okay, so favorite 80s horror movie poster? Return of the Living Dead. I'm sorry. I'm just such a fan of the movie. I'm such a fan of every aspect of the movie. But let me give you guys some other ones so I don't just sound redundant. Some really good posters. I'll tell you, Tales from the Dark Side is a great poster. Nightbreed had a really cool poster. I really like Nightmare on Elm Street 4's poster with the junkyard. I'm trying to think. Jason Takes Manhattan has a fantastic poster. What else? I'm really a fan of like the metaphoric type posters. Halloween 3 has a great poster, just a creepy looking poster. There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, the Army of Darkness poster is incredible. You know, that comic book metaphoric. I always like metaphoric type posters, and what I mean by that is posters that represent like what the movie is, but in a metaphorical way, not like a literal way. Like Jason Takes Manhattan is probably the best example I can give of what I consider like a metaphorical poster, because Jason is literally on top of the city of Manhattan. So I love that style, you know. So I love when movies give you a artistic interpretation of the film. And I guess you could kind of say that about Army of Darkness, you know. I think it's a play off of... I'm assuming the Army of Darkness poster is a play off of the Vacation poster. But what was the Vacation poster a play off of? Or was that just the ridiculous art that they came up for it? I never really thought about that till just now. The Horror Channel asks, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Ooh, I haven't seen that, but I know about it. I need to see that. Tommy says Shaun of the Dead. Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot to say that. Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is that movie came. You know, I avoided it just because I was like, I don't know. And then I found out, you know, I found out it was a British horror movie, and I have nothing against British horror movies, but I was worried that the comedy wasn't going to translate well, you know, because their style of comedy is different. They're a little bit more, you know, bleak and a little bit more dry, and I was worried that the movie wasn't going to resonate with me. And I was so happy to be wrong, you know. Nathan, what's going on, Nathan? How you doing, man? Jason Lives is my favorite horror movie comedy. That's a great one. Yeah, that's another great one. My local Fry's Electronics has an obscure Arrow Video horror Blu-rays. I wish I had a Fry's. I think the closest Fry's Electronics for me is Dallas, Texas. So, Nico says, I liked Halloween 5, especially the laundry chute scene. Oh, it's good stuff. The Army of Darkness poster is killed. Oh, yeah, Tommy said that earlier. My favorite horror movie posters are House of a Thousand Corpses, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, all great. All great posters. Poster arts for movies are probably my favorite element of horror movies, the poster art. You know, there's nothing like them. Nothing like a good horror movie poster. That's one of the most important things for me to get sucked into a movie. I love horror movie posters. Phantasm does have a horror movie poster. Great horror movie poster, Heartbreaker. I mean, just great. And that's another, you know, somewhat artistic, metaphoric, you know, just a great, great poster. Marvel Fan 45, have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? And what's your opinion on Tarantino films? And great poster picks I love are the Sleepaway Camp 2 poster. Another great one, Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 is great. You know, a beautiful lady on the cover. I don't feel one way or the other really about Quentin Tarantino films. I'm not a huge fan. I have nothing against him. He's done some great stuff. Of course, I enjoy, you know, I enjoy Pulp Fiction. Did he direct From Dusk Till Dawn? Was that Quentin Tarantino? I know that's probably a stupid question, but did he direct Dusk Till Dawn? I can't remember. If so, I like that movie, obviously. But I'm not and Kill Bill, but I wasn't a big fan of some of his latest movies he's done. But I'm excited to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The subject matter just looks really good, something I'd really like. Evil Dead poster is good. Thoughts on Jason Takes Manhattan? I love it. I love it for what it is. It's fun. Is Cabin in the Woods a horror comedy? I like that one, methinks. I would definitely call it a horror comedy. Nathan loves Halloween 5. Okay, Heartbreaker. Yeah, one day I'm going to own From Dusk Till Dawn horror movie posters because I like both of them. One that's on the DVD and the one that I originally got. I love that movie so much. Hell yeah, man. That's a good one. Tommy says it took years before I realized how crazy the Nightmare posters really were, especially the first two. The second poster is another great one. I have that in the horror room where Jesse is seeing himself as Freddy in the mirror. Just great, you know, great art. I mean, this stuff's taken for granted nowadays. Studios don't realize how important. I go on a rant about Hereditary. I thought Hereditary was such a good movie, but it had the worst poster art in the world. It was just a picture of the mom and daughter's head. Terrible. Nobody's going to be excited when they see that. Terrible. You know. Let's see. Dan Chalice, if you had to get Buddy Cupford, which mask are you choosing? I'm taking the Jaguar. The Witch. I love the Witch. It's my favorite one. We're gonna start wrapping it up, guys. We've gone over an hour. I don't like to get too weary and tired when I do these because when I do that, you guys won't like me. So you guys start wrapping up. Last questions. I'm filming a new series. I'm going to start this tonight. I'm going to film this probably early in the morning tomorrow when I wake up after I get my coffee. The series is going to be called Original versus Remake, where I'm going to take an original film and the remake, and I'm going to talk about them, and you guys will see which one I pick out of the two, which one I enjoy more. And I think the first one I'm going to do is A Nightmare on Elm Street, because I've never really given my full opinion on which one I don't want to give away the answer, but you get what I'm saying. It's going to be a fun series. We're going to start that tomorrow. Tarantino wrote it. Rodriguez directed it. Thank you. Well, I did like that, so. Okay, let's see. House of the Devil and We Are Still Here are some of the best posters ever. Not only that, Bradley, but House of the Devil was a fantastic movie. You know, the great thing, Bradley, about House of the Devil. The great thing about House of the Devil, Bradley, was you start the movie and you're like, okay, I don't know, seems kind of bleak, seems a little boring, doesn't seem like it was made for a whole lot of money, but you know, let's see what's going on, and then you just kind of like, I don't know about this, and all of a sudden you start watching the movie and you're like, something's about to happen, and then 10 minutes later you say to yourself, something is about to happen. And then another 10 minutes goes by and you're like, something is about to happen. And then another 10 minutes goes by and you're like, okay, what's about to happen? And just a great suspenseful movie. The Skull is my favorite season of The Witch Match. Nico, we'll see you, buddy. We're about to start wrapping it up. Can't wait for your new series, man. One more question is, are you excited for 3 from Hell? Hashtag 3 from Hell. Absolutely. I mean, I'm really hoping for a great movie, and I have a lot of anticipation of not seeing a whole lot of crazy Sid Haig scenes in this movie because he is so old. As a matter of fact, I think one of the 3 is not going to necessarily be Sid Haig in the movie, which I'm okay with because he's old. I really expect to see Otis take over this film, so that's what I want to see. Marvel fan asks, what movies outside of horror do you consider masterpieces? National Lampoon Vacation, love that. Ghostbusters, I'm such a Ghostbusters fan, it's not even funny. Love both 1 and 2, but the first Ghostbusters is clearly a masterpiece. Rocky, First Blood, Stallone's First Blood is, God, man, love it. So I'm wrapping this up, guys. We're wrapping it up. Bradley says, "Don't get bright lights in your film setup. I like the darker lighting. It works well for your room." Well, thank you. That's purely out of just me not having the proper equipment. I have a big light that I aim right at me, but it doesn't light up the horror room that well. So, all right. Good night, Zach. Favorite Captain Spaulding line? Quit shoving the paper towels down the toilet. That's my favorite. Good night, Dan. Go have a drink. Go call the Marines or something. You're gonna have to fall under somebody's jurisdiction. All right, Tommy, take it easy, man. I'm now on 3 weeks PTO vacation from work. I might just try to stay home or maybe not. Who knows? Take it easy, Nathan. You deserve it. Okay, guys. I love y'all. We're going to start wrapping this up. I had a good stream. You guys are awesome. Get ready for the new series tomorrow. Original versus Remake. A Nightmare on Elm Street. You heard it here. And you'll find out which one is the winner. And the winner is you're going to find that out tomorrow. Okay, guys. Y'all be good. All right. I'll see y'all later.